you want to make on this video or anything?
Uh, well, just so you guys know, I just switched over to my personal YouTube channel. So if you can tell people that are on YouTube, go over there. Anyway, so I mean, man, listen, this shit fucking sucks. I don't like. At first, I thought it was a rib too, you know, but there's certain characteristics, certain things, certain mannerisms that people that use meth, crystal meth, use. Her eyes, her movements, her mouth, grinding, her teeth. I was looking at all that stuff, and I was saying to myself, God, the first thing I thought of was the kids. Now I thought she was the primary parent of the children. I don't know what the situation is now. I just think about the kids, man. I think about how hard that life can be. And for anyone that's thinking about becoming a professional wrestler, Ben Hameen always says, carnies, queers, and addicts. And it's just a fucking sad thing, man. It's a very, very sad thing. And I'm praying to God that I know that the wrestling community can be the worst, but it can also be the best. And if there's anybody out there that can actually reach out to this young lady, maybe help her, that would be amazing. I've already spoken to a couple of people that are in the business that know her or know of her, that I think are going to try to reach out to help her out. So we'll see where that goes. Anywho, so yeah, man, it's very sad. But anyway, let's move on to something a little crazier. Rick, you were telling me. Oh, you know what? Let's talk about this first, real quick. Wow. So, New Jersey Pro. What is this? New Jersey Pro Wrestling legend. Huh? Who's this? Oh, Tammy Lynn Sitch. She got booked finally. Vet, do you know how many years she's gotten?
17.
17 years. Did she earn this, guys? Do you think this is a justifiable? How old is she now? What is she, like 50? About 50 years old. So she won't be getting out till she's 67, almost 70, maybe a little earlier with good behavior. But yeah, man, what do you think, guys?
50 years old, 17 years with a follow up of 8 years probation. Did you guys watch any of this? I mean, as they were kind of doing their last plea before the sentencing on Monday, they were pretty much just running out, one after another, psychiatrists, anyone that they could get into the courtroom to just let you know how just mentally unstable, basically insane that this woman is. And I think, looking at the 17 years, the probation, I guess there's still some more that we need to follow up on, what kind of security we should be in, what kind of facility, those sort of things. But it really seems like a slap on the wrist for the resume that she's put together.
But
yeah, I mean, whatever.
I'm sorry, guys. Look, honestly, I'm off personally. I'm having a bad day here. My head is exploding. I don't feel very well. And then I got this whole bullshit with the YouTube. I'm trying to figure this out, but I'm gonna let it go. Let it go. I'm gonna let it go. Rick, you were talking about now privately we had a conversation. Me and Rick Vickrey, we wanted to know what the vet was thinking about this. You were telling me that there may be a new home for Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, looks like AEW is having trouble, maybe at a standstill in their negotiations with the what is that, Warner Discovery. So at this point, that contract would expire at the end of the year, and there's a lot of people out there in speculation that the networks are very interested in what many would call an upgrade and bringing the flagship of WWE, Monday Night Raw, or Raw, if it would still remain on Monday nights, to TNT. Looks like the front runner.
So how does that work, though, Vet? Like, I mean, you're gonna have two different wrestling products on the same channel, AEW and WWE.
I mean, I don't know if it's completely unprecedented, but certainly not the two major, like competing promotions that would have been. But I suppose theoretically it's possible.
Do you see that as obviously, I mean, a detriment to AEW, right? Is that kind of like a slap in the face? Is it even important? Is it a big deal at all?
Could be. I mean, it's not like it would be competing or anything, but it's kind of like this could be like AEW was just you know, it was like their little starter kit. Like, see how we like it? How do we like having a live wrestling program? All right, now let's get the real one. You know, maybe could be their attitude. But I really don't know. I'm always really, I would say curious if I cared, but I do wonder when these conversations come up of like when we're talking about network executives and things, like how many of them really know what's going on or care about the actual business, or are they just looking for programming? It's cheap programming right now, and they have AEW over a barrel, right? Because Tony Khan is desperate to make this thing work, and he can fund it indefinitely, pretty much, at this point. So if you bring WWE on, they're going to want a hefty rights check, right? Much, much more than AEW would ask for. Tony would pay you to have wrestling on your network if it came down to it. Now, he doesn't have to do that yet, but he would. You can tell that he would be willing to do that. Anything to continue to seem like a big time important promotion, having that primetime slot. If it came down to it, I think he would try to fund it, and it's already cheap. You know, like people are always saying like, well, if they could just, TNT could just show a Marvel movie in that slot and they get better ad revenue and all this other stuff. Yeah, but then you got to cut Disney a check to be allowed to show the Marvel movie. And that's going to be heftier than, you know, whatever AEW is going to be asking for. So in the long run, they could be, you know, they could be interested in WWE if they think it's worth it. If they think it's a worthwhile investment, they could do it. But in the end, I think they're just sort of like flirting with the idea. And I think they'd rather just have the money. Warner Brothers is a fucking mess. Like, if you just look at any of the decisions that they've made business-wise in their entertainment, like, nothing they're doing makes any sense in any way. I mean, they're absolutely pathetic. So you can't go by logic when trying to guess what they might do, like in a business decision setting. But that's just all, you know, that's just me as a bystander, not really knowing the ins and outs of it, but having paid attention to the trends that have been going on for years and years. Your
thoughts, Rick?
I think it's really interesting the points that Vet's making here. As carny as Warner seems to be at this point, you know, they do have those experts on the inside where they could be using this WWE talk as simply a ploy to really just stick it to Tony, who hasn't had much experience. He's only had one go around negotiating with these networks like this. You know, it's not like with, you know, the other sports, you know, endeavors that he is involved in. Those deals are handled separately through leagues, you know, and whatnot. I'm not really sure how the soccer thing works, but at least with the NFL, those are all taken care of through the main office here. This is him handling it himself. They could be playing him for a sucker, and as Vet's saying, getting him to eat most of, you know, the potential revenue and just give it back into the pockets of the network. They could be playing him like a fool heel, just, you know, acting as if, and I'm sure WWE's in there negotiating. It's one of those backhanded tactics where they pretend they really don't give that much of a crap about AEW, but any competition, they're going to look to stick it to. We saw that with the CW. You know, everyone's so high on, here comes the NWA. And, oh, by the way, we were talking with WWE, and we're going to go with that deal now.
I'll tell you something, man. I like what Vet said earlier, where he's like, maybe I understood wrong, but that TNT or TBS was like, you know what, we'll just try it out. We'll try out what wrestling would be like here. And I think they got a monicum of success, especially in the beginning, you know, when CM Punk was there. Anyway, and, you know, they saw like kind of a buzz and like, all right, so, you know, this shit company, you know, did okay. Now let's get the real deal. You know, you got what's his name, Tatum from The Simpsons. There's like Mike Tyson, you know, and then you bring in the real one.
Oh, Jedrick,
you know?
Tatum.
Jedrick Tatum, one of the most underrated characters in the Simpsons universe, in my humble opinion. Him and Bumblebee Man are two of my favorites, but neither here nor there. I tell you straight up, man. I don't know if this is. See, people think, oh, you know, rest in peace, AEW. Come on, I don't think AEW's. I originally thought that AEW would be out of business by the end of 2023. I've been saying it since 2021 or 2022. Not that I want them to be out of business, but the way it was going, that's what I felt. Now, with that being said, it's not RIP, but they're going to be in a coma for some time, and they're going to lose a lot of viewership. And unless they totally just change, man, they got to do something different. Maybe, I don't know. What do you guys think? What if AEW, what if they focus in on talents that haven't really been on television? Indie talents, that
aren't television ready.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, so
that's how it started.
What? See, Vet got it. Maybe with AEW, maybe they can give them benefits and like a retirement plan. Would that be a good idea, guys?
Take care of the boys, right?
Yeah. Or no, I got a better idea. Instead of having like the whole Carney Pro Wrestling fucking, why don't they do like more of a sports based thing? Well,
maybe
like
keep
fucking
records.
Yes, wins matter, right?
Be onto something here.
So when you have the wrestlers, walking out to the ring, to their favorite music or whatever they grew up to, they can have like a little fucking stat at the bottom. It says 10 wins, 1 loss. They're number 1 contender for the North American Universal Championship of the West Side. Whatever. That'll be cool. And you can introduce a ton of belts so that everybody can have one. So that there's multiple championship matches. What do you think, guys?
I think you might be onto something there, Big Ray. I'll tell you what was really within the AEW news this week might be the most disheartening is with QT Marshall, his exit from the company.
Yes.
Not that he is leaving. Well, I guess he was speaking with somebody. I don't know which of the sheets that it was, but they're reporting that a lot of the reason he is leaving is because of the direction that the company is going towards moving forward, where they want to focus on, because TK enjoys it, more of the New Japan, the strong style, where we're going to have more matches to put things over.
That's not what I heard. I heard that Cody's getting him a job at WWE.
Oh, I'm not going to disagree with you on that one. He's got his foot in the door down at the Performance Center. I got that feeling as well. But it's one of the statements that he made. And I know there's a lot of buzz out there, people talking about Triple H taking that backhanded shot that AEW didn't get Jade prepared. But let's not forget who was training her. She was down at that Monster Factory with QT and Cody.
Yeah, but they were training her, and I know you're going to say something, but they were training her, but at the same time, they put her right on TV. So it doesn't work that way. You can't
learn it on the job.
Yeah, you can't do
the best way to do it. Just throw her in the deep end and let her swim. I think she swam, all things considered, but that's beside the point. We're talking about QT. That's a huge downgrade if that guy goes to the Performance Center. I mean, they just got Lince Dorado as a coach, and I'm like, yeah, okay, cool.
Who? They got Lince Dorado in WWE?
Yeah, him.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
why?
But he's pretty. Well, I don't know. He's pretty good, but he was never going to be like. Look, let's face it. Your name is Lince Dorado. You have a furry mask. You're never going to be a major superstar.
Hey, you're going to be. Tiger Mask was over.
He was over, but even in America, a little bit less than say Japan. But
that's fair.
Yeah, and but I mean, he's good enough, and I could see him being able to, if these kids just insist on doing dives, he's as good a person as any to teach them to perfect those dives. But QT, not so much. I don't know what he does well. So maybe just don't hold your breath if you think Cody is going to get you that job. Just let Conan keep booking you in Mexico and let that just play out. But it's a bad look when fucking your vision for the company doesn't line up with fucking QT Marshall.
I think he's already got the job. I think he was offered the job. I mean, I'm going to say I think because I heard, so I don't know if it's true, but I think he already has the job. They just haven't announced it yet with the WWE and he'll be working at the Performance Center training people, and he'll have a hand in continuing to train Jade Cargill, from what I understand. Could be wrong. You know,
Ugh, let's hope you're wrong.
I didn't pay. I didn't pay.
He's potentially going to be brought in to personally work with her, like this is your coach at our facility.
Can you imagine the Performance Center with like Norman Smiley's there and Robbie Brookside is there and Matt Bloom is there and QT walks in like, hey guys, I'm here to teach too. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Norman Smiley is such a great.
They let him come in after hours, like Jade's training, at like midnight till 4 a.m. when no one's actually there. So he doesn't have to. Those guys don't have to see.
Yeah, and then when she shows up the next time, they're like, okay, forget all that. That never happened. Just forget everything he said. No, just don't hire him. That's my advice.
It leads me to wonder how bad Jade Cargill actually was and how much they were covered. Now, even though she may have been shits in the ring, you have plenty of people that were shits in the ring. The Ultimate Warrior is one that people keep talking about over and over again. He was the shits in the ring. You have guys like remember Ted Arcidi? But even with that being said, she's still pretty young and she's very athletic and she's very strong. So I'm sure, with some time, she'll be fine. She's serviceable. Her look alone is what sells her.
You got to remember too, Ray.
What's up?
The people she was in there with. Not exactly anybody that could. It was the blind leading the blind out there. There was several matches, especially toward the end of Jade's run, where I was like, oh my God, Jade is the brains of this match.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
And she did okay. To my eyes, she did okay.
Not bad,
Obviously,
right?
you're comparing her to the best women's wrestlers? No. But comparing her to somebody who's had all of her matches on television, fuck yeah, she's fine.
I think
she could
so.
go on TV right now. She'll be all right.
I just want to throw out there that this week's Raw ratings came out, and what did you guys think? All right, do you guys know the numbers before I spout them out?
No.
All right, so it says WWE 11/27/23 ratings spike for the return of CM Punk and Randy Orton. The ratings for this week's edition of Monday Night Raw are in, according to Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics. The episode drew an average of 1.884 million viewers on the USA Network, up from 1.459 viewers last week. Your thoughts, Vet, as you shake your head affirmatively.
Yep, that's about what I expected. That's what other people had predicted. I think Liz had predicted something in the 1.8, 1.9 range. I tended to agree. I said it would not crack 2, or I guessed it would not crack 2. I'm not going to say I said it.
I think you said it, but you were right.
It probably wouldn't crack 2, and we'll probably be looking between. I was thinking like maybe 1.6 to 1.8, somewhere in that region. But that's, a pretty big bump, and we know, why the bump is, for sure. It's not like an anomaly. Like, why did this random episode get, 400,000 extra viewers? We know why.
Your thoughts, Rick?
Ben and I talked Monday about this thing, and coming off of the hottest buzz, the momentum that this company has seen in a decade, to go full throttle at this thing, which obviously, what I'm seeing, they just went the complete different direction. They went to their cookie cutter.
There he goes. He's eating the muffins.
Cookie cutter selves here.
Vet's eating the muffins, Rick.
We were talking they should go over 2 million. That should have been their target. I'm going to be more interested to look at these quarterlies to see where people were jumping off as they continued to fail for pretty much 171 minutes before they delivered anything of substance, anything significant on this show.
See, I'm going to disagree. But hold on. The vet. This is a Vet. Right now he's eating his muffins, and let's see if he can. Can you do a ventriloquist thing? Let's see what the Vet has to say.
I'm hurt and I'm old and I'm fucking tired, and I work with fucking children.
Damn. All right, Vet.
Damn, that's talent.
That's pretty good. Let's see. Can you do it again?
I'm hurt and I'm old and I'm fucking tired, and I work with fucking children.
Wow, that's pretty good, Vet. All right, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about Monday Night Raw, Rick. So you, if you don't, can I share just the first text you sent me?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm working and I'm watching Raw on my phone as I'm at work. I'm doing 2 things at once, but I'm watching the show. And finally, when the show went off the air, the first thing I said was, this was a good show. Pretty good. you know, whatever, top to bottom.
You
Now,
were watching this week's Monday Night Raw, right?
I was watching this week's Monday Night Raw, and this is me, who I rarely ever watch Raw. This is me who hasn't watched the Raw, a full Raw. Oh my God, I don't know, maybe 2019, maybe 2019. I haven't probably watched a full 3 hours of Raw since 2019. I watched every minute of Raw this week. And the first text Rick Vickrey sent to me was, and I quote, what an epic fail and pile of shit. And I retorted by saying, why do you say that? So, Rick, why do you feel that this show top to bottom was an epic fail and pile of shit?
To talk about this show, we got to talk about Saturday, Survivor Series. Mm-hmm. You have got the biggest buzz, the hottest stories, the most momentum this company has seen in at least a decade. You have got those inside the bubble, the diehards, the hardcores. You have got the casuals. You have the lapsed fan. You have outside media outlets jumping on this thing, the TMZs, the ESPN, across the country, local affiliates from the NBC and Fox. Their news is picking up on this thing. This is the hottest it's going to be for pro wrestling in a while. Okay. Big Ray, you just admitted the first time since 2019 that you were so invested, that you sat down and were excited to watch an entire episode of Raw.
I'm going to watch it next week, by the way.
We've got all
I'm
this
excited about what happened here.
All of this intrigue coming into this thing. I had a dozen or so people that no longer watch regularly, but hey, is this really happening? What about all the heat, all the drama, all the baggage, how he left the company? What is going to happen here? We know everything with Seth Rollins, that he's not happy. He has been outspoken about this on social media. We had people even questioning, and I think it was a happy accident that they could have played to, about Drew storming out of the arena. All the people,
which had nothing to do with CM Punk, by the way.
A happy accident that they could have played into this thing. All of this drama, all this suspense, everybody excited. They have got a fire to bring back the edge, bring the attitude, truly get raw with it. And what do we get? They go back to the cookie cutter formula, BS pro wrestling in the ring nonsense. You mentioned earlier, about Mark Henry and them. Mark Henry in that first 5 minutes over on Busted Open saying, in pro wrestling, it's about pleasing the fans. And they absolutely missed the mark on this thing. That's why people were tuning in. And they even come out. They even come out. We're going to go commercial free first hour. You know what that screams? Can't miss excitement. Know what they do? They give us a half-ass promo with Randy Orton.
That wasn't a half-ass promo. You're crazy.
I'm
sorry.
Randy Orton and CM Punk.
Randy Orton, timeout. Randy Orton with one fucking line. Who's your daddy? Just created his own new T-shirt.
Daddy's home. Daddy's back.
Daddy's home. Created his own new T-shirt. Started business between him and the most over faction right now, even more over than the Bloodline probably right now, because they're on TV every single week. So now you have a guy that's been away for 2 years, who's an absolute legend and legend killer, who people are craving to see on your television, open the show in the ring with the hottest act in professional wrestling, which being Mommy. And they both cut, I thought a relatively good promo. They both went back and forth at each other. It was really good. Nothing was awkward. Nothing was bad. Nothing was shitty. And they started a feud to start the show, which is going to kick us, which is going to probably last until the Royal Rumble. So I'm confused to understand what was so bad about this opening segment.
They bookend this thing, sandwich this entire show with their two big returns, with two superstars that are revered. That you've got the polarizing figure in Punk, the Viper, the loner, the most dangerous man, plays by his own rules in professional wrestling, Randy Orton, and they bookend this show with them going out there and playing kissy face. I love you guys, man. It's so good to be back. That is complete garbage of that. Hey, I like that they set up Orton and Dom. I thought that was a great match for this thing that could have been a part of something so epic, so much bigger, that people were going to love to see Dirty Dom going out there and just getting his ass handed to him by the Viper. That part was okay there.
I don't want to be rude. I don't want to cut you off, but I got to hear what the vet says. What do you feel about this, sir? Vet?
About what?
About everything that we're both saying. Like, do you agree with Rick? Do you agree with me? Are you in the middle?
Well, do you have more to talk about the show?
Yes.
Well,
Because
you guys keep going then.
So this first hour, so they give us commercial free, right? That's again, that's the edge. See, we don't even want to take a break because you can't not miss the action. So we do. We get that opening promo, and then who booked the next thing? Tony Khan, because we get a shoddy group of pretty much no one knows who they are, tag teams in a 45-minute scramble.
So, all right, I'm going to get at you right now. Nobody knows who these guys are, right? Nobody knows who these guys are. You just made a tag team, that being the Creed brothers. So, of course, you don't know who they are. You know, professional wrestlers, you know, when you become a superstar, you don't come to the ring and people know who you are right away. You have to build to that. Weeks and weeks and months, maybe even years.
The Creed showed up last week.
I get it. That's fine. But now you made them. Now they beat all those other teams. Now the Creed show that they're a number one contender. You just made a number one contender. You just put over a young tag team. So I don't get what you're saying. Why is
people
it crap?
Weren't tuning in to watch a 45-minute
but the whole show is not about Randy Orton and CM Punk. You have other business to attend to.
Was about. That was what
right,
all
but
the buzz was about.
But you cannot make a whole show. You're taking advantage of the fact that people
used to do it all the time.
You're taking advantage. Hold on. You're taking advantage of the fact that yes, people are here to see Randy Orton and CM Punk. People want to see what Seth Rollins has to say. In the midst of that, you have the opportunity now to build other things, which I thought the show did a good job at doing. You had multiple feuds being built during this show, not just Randy Orton's return, but you had the tag team gimmick that went off. You had a little bit of R-Truth there. What was it? Tag team turmoil? Yeah, R-Truth. So the Creed brothers go over. I'm actually going down the list real quick of what happened. The whole thing in the Judgment Day, you had a little comedy with R-Truth with the Jelly Roll thing. You had Jelly Roll, who's the CMT. I know who that guy is, and I don't listen really to country music as much.
That's a big miss too. They didn't use him properly either.
Okay, so what do you want him to do? A fucking 450 off the top rope?
Oh, like, why don't you get him to perform? You're in Nashville.
Why? Nobody wants that. We want to see wrestling.
You know what? You're looking for numbers. We're talking about negotiation. We're talking about getting over 2 million. You advertise that you got Jelly Roll doing a live performance on your show on a Monday night. It'd be the highest rated segment that WWE has.
Well, why does it have to be that night? Why can't it be next week?
This is the buzz, dude. You're coming off the hottest moment.
Okay. What? Hold on. Not done. So now you continue. So now you get Cody Rhodes in the ring, who's super over. People thought by now, they would have fizzled out. Nope. He's still as over as he ever was. And you put him in the ring with Shinsuke Nakamura. Right?
Oh, yeah, that's because that's what all the other networks are picking. ESPN's been talking about. All the the local news channels, they've all been talking about who is the subtitle guy talking about. That's the crossover. That's the appeal. That's how you grow your bubble, right?
Right.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, that's what they've been
talking
about.
But then you have to also cater to the people that watch your show on a weekly basis as well. Those crazy New Japan Pro Wrestling fans like the Vet who would want to see this match.
Alcohol companies and bars, they don't market to alcoholics.
All right, so then did you have a problem with the big boy match, with the Bronson Reed and Valhalla match, or whatever the fuck his name is, Ivar?
See, a lot of these things were fine inside of what was happening on Raw, but
no, you said it was all shit. You said it
was because they didn't deliver on what the big time goods were. Even if they wanted to hold off Punk to the end, the old school philosophy there. Why not? Did we not get vignettes throughout this show showing us highlights that get people truly excited to, just re-energize what he meant to the company, what he stood for? All we got was some random Michael Cole moments. He's coming. Okay. First time in 8 years. Why isn't there any more excitement there?
So you're talking.
Seth Rollins ended up looking like the biggest pussy in professional wrestling coming out of this show.
Okay, look, you got people that agree with you.
He called him out and said, on site, I will take care of CM Punk if he shows up in WWE. Oh, right. I don't want to talk about that.
Well, hold on. Time out, though. I get it. You're right. You're absolutely correct. But at the same time, okay, you got Drew McIntyre, who cut him off.
Another huge
miss. Cut him off. Who cut him off? Who knows which way that promo was supposed to go? Maybe he was going to tear down CM Punk.
No, No, he literally said, "I don't want to talk about that right now."
Okay, fair
Those
enough.
were words that came out of his mouth.
Okay, but just because, see, this is what I keep telling you. Like I was telling you off air, I said everybody wants shit right now. Everybody wants shit right now. Everybody wants shit right now.
Hot, you better deliver it right now, because
But you can deliver this over the course of a couple of weeks. You have
1.8. That's going to be 1.3 next week.
No, I doubt it. I actually doubt it. I bet you it's not. I bet you it's not. Matter of fact, I will bet that it's not anywhere near 1.3. It's going to be closer to 1.8. And if it is not close to 1.8, I'll tell you this right now. I will leave this show next week and quit, and Rick Vickrey will take over for me on a weekly basis. And the vet is fine with that, right, vet?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, why do I have to be punished for being right?
Well, working with the vet, I get it. But anyway, look, so you continue to build towards different. You're not just focusing on two guys. You're focusing on multiple factions, you tag teams. You're building on a new feud now that's going to lead into Royal Rumble with Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre, or whatever the next pay-per-view is. Then you get
they've been feuding for months.
I get it, but it's a renewed feud. Okay, should I say that? A renewed feud, a more intense version of Drew McIntyre. Then you go into you got a women's match. You got Nia Jax. You got the tag team chicks. They go in, but then you get a great main event.
Yeah, that's
with
what the
Dominic
talking about. Zoe Stark and Nia Jax. That's gonna bring them back. That's gonna reel them in. Hook.
All right, so let me ask you a question. Booker Man, Mr. Pencil. What do you do to fill in 3 hours? Do you just have CM Punk stand out there and talk for an hour and a half? Maybe Randy Orton, I don't know, just RKO everybody in the fucking arena as he goes around? What do you do for 3 hours? Or do you just fucking book who you have on the roster? What do you do? You're making it sound like you should just focus the whole show on two guys.
Yes. That is the point. That is a formula that made Nitro take the reins and dominate.
And you know how that worked out, pal.
Yeah, network didn't end up.
You know how that worked out, pal.
Yeah. So it was
I don't want to talk vet. I want to hear what you had to think. I want to hear the vet talk. I want to hear the vet talk to his new partner.
You guys done?
I'm done, because and by the way, I'll end with this. CM Punk's promo. What did you expect? Did you want him to stand up there? Fuck AEW, fuck Tony Khan, like I said in my little TikTok video. Did you want him to hold up a picture of Tony Khan doing cocaine? He's bigger than that. The WWE's bigger than that. Forget about them. Fuck them. He's here to make money, not make friends. He was talking out of both sides of his mouth. I don't think people understand what he did. And by the way, his time was cut. I don't know if you know that. That main event went a lot longer than it was supposed to. So CM Punk was supposed to be on screen for a lot longer. And he was supposed to cut a longer promo. But he went that route, talking out both sides of his mouth. It's kind of like the devil. I spoke about what if he comes in as corporate CM Punk? There's so many different fucking possibilities. Him working alongside Triple H. Can you imagine the heat? Why do we automatically think this guy's going to be a babyface? You don't know. CM Punk saying people are kissing him on the mouth at the same time. He's like, oh, well, not everybody was happy with me. Who is not happy with him back there? It led me to want to come back next week to see how the fuck this is going to play out. If you gave everyone everything this one night, then why come back next week? So Vet, I'm done.
Nothing but Vet. Go to Vet.
Didn't give him nothing.
Well, both of you guys made some excellent points. And the problem is I don't know if the WWE and their current in this current iteration is even capable of doing what really is best for business. I think they're always going to make choices that undercut other possibilities. Like everything they do is going to be counterbalanced by another bad decision. So a lot of it is them falling back into old bad habits, safe habits. We're just going to format a show the way we've been formatting a show. It's the reason why people think that Vince McMahon still is writing the show, because people, as long as guys like Bruce Pritchard and guys like Hunter that have been around him for so long are there. They're just going to fall into habits that they've learned, and it's going to be Vince whether Vince is touching it or not. So we're always going to have that flavor to it. They're kind of in a damned if they do, damned if they don't situation. I can understand why they would make a decision to put Punk at the end. RBV, I don't know how you stood on that decision in and of itself in a vacuum. That. Do you think it's a good idea to wait till the end, or?
Well, as I said there, if you're going to wait, it's an old school thought. Let's hold out for that main event. Let's build it up. Let's see if we can hold this audience. But if you're going to do that, then truly give me things to get me excited about the return throughout. Just, going back to just not Michael Cole random. Show me, one of the things I did Sunday, I was so excited Saturday, and I was telling people, man, I wish it was Monday morning so they could get on the air and talk about this. All the emotion that I was feeling at the time to get on the air with Ben and break the thing down. So Sunday, luckily I hopped on the cock. They had a friendly, a whole section.
Not the first
right
time. Sorry.
The whole section there, best in the world. You could get caught up on his big moments, watch the documentary, relive what he meant, the message that he brought to the game, what he did of such significance. Why not do that there and there for those lapsed fans? Or hell, it's been, 7-8 years? There's a good portion of this audience that never saw CM Punk there. A lot of people that have left since then. So, re-energize them, remind them, we don't get any of that stuff. There is no reoccurring weaving themes through these shows. Everything, it's like Saturday Night Live, segment by segment, skit to skit. And you're not going to retain people on that. That's why I'm interested in these quarterlies where people jump in and out, flip back over. Is he on yet? What's happening here? And another thing, they had easy competition that night because there was not a very interesting Monday night game between the Bears and the Vikings.
So
next week when you're talking about hitting that 1-8 again, it might be a win for AEW because they're up against the Jaguars and the Bengals.
Stand by, ladies and gentlemen. God damn it. This is very important. Let me just fuck. This is very important. Ladies and gentlemen. I have to bring in another country. Joining us from the PWC. Ladies and gentlemen, his last name is Lambs, with no L. Bullshit first thing in the morning. Your podcaster's favorite podcaster, all the way from the land of Canada, beaming down from the home of the Canada Spaceman. It is Chris Ams. Chris, he is here to yell at RBV and the vet. No, he's probably going to
get to make my point.
No, you are going to make your point. But before Chris, I just want to introduce him, jump him in. I'm going to. I'm not going to be here next week, just so you know, because the Raw is only going to do a 1.3.
We know. Wait, Vet. We know Ray's formula here. You get to talk at an hour and 71 minutes.
Okay.
So say your point, Vet, and we'll introduce Chris, please.
So, my point is I'm just a firm believer in whatever's the last thing that you saw, that should be the next thing that happens on the program. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't have made anybody wait. I would have got right into it. Mm. And the reason why, Ray, you already pointed it out. You don't even want to take the chance that somebody else is going to go along and cut that time down.
Right.
If anything, you're going to have to cut your shit out because Punk is back and he's got something to say. So we're starting with this and we're making sure it all gets in. Now, after that, you can do whatever the hell you want to do because nobody cares anymore. They're probably going to tune out. Okay.
Yeah, but they popped the rating at the top of the hour, right? Because everybody was expecting Punk. So they still had the rating. And then they retained the rating because they knew that Punk was eventually going to show up. So I don't have a problem with them having him come. I get what you're saying, and I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
But I understand why they did it. To get the rating at the end and to retain that almost 2 million for the whole show. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So that's just one way to do it. But again, that would be then if that were to happen, if that were to be the case, then they would have just done the same basic show and they would have just reordered it. They would have had the same kind of matches. By the way, the when you have a not discounting what you said about the Creed brothers, Ray, because I mean you have a vested interest in the Creed brothers.
I do.
Right?
Yeah.
Most other people wouldn't that are just tuning in just to see. But here's the thing. Whatever you do with the Creed brothers to try to help get them over, tag team turmoil match is coded language for we need to kill time on this show. If any industry insiders want to, if you want me to give away the secrets, yes. When you say we're having tag team turmoil match, that means we need to kill an hour. That's exactly what that is.
Or it could be you got a whole bunch of different teams that nobody's really seen in the ring.
Yeah,
but
it's really what I said.
I understand that, but
so
for people that don't know, you could
get the Creed brothers over with a shorter, better, more impactful match or segment instead of just
or you can get a payday for everybody, for all those other teams.
Well, they're getting paid on a downside. So
when I'm saying payday, I'm saying getting TV exposure.
A candy bar? You're gonna have a peanut candy bar with caramel? Yes. Give them a payday. Catering. That's where most of them belong in any case. But that's beside the point. What I'm trying to say here is after that, after you open the show with what everybody came to see, that's not the end. You keep CM Punk on the show. Now we get to watch him interact with some of these people. Some of the interactions are going to be kisses on the mouth. Some of the interactions are not going to be so nice.
I see what you mean.
What do you think people would be doing if this guy just came back to the company after being a 10-year hiatus? Don't you think all those cameras, as a shoot, they're going to be following him around because they've got documentaries to put up on Peacock later, so they're already going to be filming it. But now you can film it in a kayfabe way.
So you're saying
get content for your show.
So you're saying follow him, cut the promo to open the show, follow him throughout the show, and then have him cut the promo again at the end?
You don't have to cut the promo at the end, but maybe somebody else has a promo. Seth Rollins came out to do some business, right? In the middle of the show.
Let's hear from Chris real quick after Vet finishes his point.
Are you finished your point, Vet?
No, go ahead, Chris.
Shit. Oh, fuck. I actually think that it was pretty. It should have been really easy to book Monday Night Raw. I think that you open with Cult of Personality because every single person in the wrestling bubble is waiting for it. Everybody is there to see it. As
right, you're wrong.
Said,
he's off.
As Vet said, you start with "Shut the fuck up, Ray."
All right. So as we were saying. No, I'm kidding. I'm not an asshole like that.
All right. So you start the show with what you ended the last show with. It's Punk, right? That's what everybody wants to see. And as like RBV said, and again, I mean, listen to me. Nobody hates agreeing with RBV more than I do. And that's just because he's the most hateful towards Canada on this network.
Hates Canada and hates babies and puppies.
He's just a bad man. But he happens to be right about this. But he happens to be right about this particular subject. No. You start with Cult of Personality. Punk comes out. He says exactly what he said at the end of the night. The exact same promo. It doesn't have to be any different, except that right as he's finishing his last sentence, Seth Rollins comes out to interrupt him. Seth tells him off. He tells him he's a piece of shit. We don't want you here. Blah blah blah.
You know why that doesn't work? You know why that doesn't work? And it doesn't work because they're not going to wrestle anytime soon. Why would you start a fucking feud between those two guys if they're not going to wrestle until the Royal Rumble or even WrestleMania? Why do you start it then and there?
Why not? Why not?
Why are you starting your business at War Games when Michael Cole has to hold you back because you just can't wait to flip this guy off and act like you want to attack him? Well, I guess it's all cool after you've had a couple of days to sit and think about it. Now he can go out and be on his own time, and we don't have to worry about it. We don't have to waste our breath, so to speak, on this guy.
Okay, anyway, you go to break immediately after Seth Rollins interrupts him and tells him to go fuck himself. You come back, Punk is backstage. Someone mentions, oh, Seth has a match in the main event tonight, and you see Punk smirk. That's it. He just smirks. Now you've got people, they saw CM Punk already to start the show. They're going to watch till the end because they want to see what the fuck happens with Punk. And now you can properly build whatever the fuck you want in the middle of the show. You can still have a tag team waste my fucking time match if you want. And you can do other business to try to build people. And more people will stay watching. Because I'll tell you what I did. I tuned in right at the start of Raw, and that's the first fucking time I've watched Raw in probably 3 years. Like right at the start, I was like, "Fuck it, man! I'm gonna watch this." I tuned in. I saw Randy Orton dick around with somebody he's not gonna have a fucking match with, because he's not gonna have a fucking match against Mommy.
That's ridiculous. That's like saying that Hulk Hogan in the ring with fucking Bobby the Brain Heenan is shit because he's not gonna have a match with him. Bobby the Brain Heenan or somebody in the ring with Paul Heyman going back and forth with him. That makes no sense.
But Heenan would bump in those matches. You would have some kind of payoff.
Oh, okay. But what I'm saying, you're saying that they're not going to have a match between each other. Hulk Hogan never had a match with Heenan. Fucking,
but there's a payoff.
Where's the payoff with
Heenan?
Yeah.
Him getting in a fucking weasel suit and getting his ass kicked for 3 minutes.
Okay, so you don't think some chick's going to come out and maybe help Punk? Huh? Maybe AJ Lee? Huh? You guys are thinking, you're not thinking like down the road, you're thinking now.
Why would AJ Lee come out and help?
Have you seen what AJ Lee looks like? Have you seen
AJ Lee's going to come out and help Randy Orton?
No, she's going to come out and help CM Punk when that shit comes down the line.
Right, but what did I just say? I just said I saw Randy Orton and somebody
or another female. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Anyway, then I watched about 20 minutes of a fucking waste my time tag team match, and then do you know what I did?
What?
I turned on the fucking Red Wings game because fuck that. Well, I don't have time or energy to sit through 3 hours of Raw to see what the fuck CM Punk is going to have to say. I just don't. I like CM Punk a lot. I'm not going to. No. The truth is, no, honestly, Ray, I'm telling you, I will not be tuning into Raw at the start of Monday night.
Okay.
If somebody tells me I missed something, I'll go back and watch it. But there's no fucking way, man. And I'm like, I am the lapsed fan. Like, in my watching habits, I am exactly the lapsed wrestling fan. If something really fucking big happens and they go, oh, yeah, we're going to have the first hour of Raw is going to be commercial free. And, the CM Punk came back and, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll tune in for that. And then they absolutely fucked it. Like, they absolutely ruined the start of that fucking show.
Vet seems like he disagrees with you and he thinks you're stupid. What do you think, Vet?
Well, no, the real reason that we're all just kind of dancing around is the Impact Attack was live, guys. They weren't going to put Punk on against the Impact Attack, so they waited until literally the moment we went off the air, and then it was like, okay, get him ready. Show the shot of the door. Like the reason that the main event went long is because they kept telling Randy, drag it out. They still haven't signed off. Just drag it out. We said, okay, I guess Punk's not coming on. Good night, everybody. And then main event. You can check the tapes on that. If you doubt my timeline,
they were waiting for the Moose theme song to finish. That's what they were waiting for.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's in post-production, so that's not really.
So, Chris, all right, so we all know, like, listening to everything you're saying, you're wrong. So, and you're gonna watch Raw next week. So, what else you got to add?
That's pretty much, you guys were talking about Punk, and I was listening, and I thought, like, Ray needs at least one more person to tell him how stupid he is about
I'm not
the
stupid.
opening.
I'm not stupid because, like I said, even though you guys disagree with me, I don't think anyone's wrong here. I think you can see it both sides. Again, if you did listen to Bustin' Open Radio, like I said, these guys put that shit up after I kind of said what I said, and not that they listened to me, but I think we all have different mindsets regarding what we think was right, what was wrong.
For sure.
So I'm gonna watch Raw next week. They got me interested. I liked what they did this week. You guys did not like what they did this week, so probably you won't watch Raw, or you think it's shit booking or whatever. It's fair. There's no right, there's no wrong. Not everybody likes pizza, even though if you don't like pizza, you have no soul. Cough button.
I'd really like to see the hour by hour breakdown, because I want to know how many viewers did exactly what I did. I'd really like to know how many people tuned into the beginning of Raw to see CM Punk and then saw a 45-minute waste my fucking time tag team shit and went, I've got other things to do, man. I don't have time for this.
Yeah. Well, there's quite a few people that I'm sure if Ray felt the way he felt, then I'm sure he wasn't alone. And
wait
if
a
you
second.
guys feel the way you feel, you aren't alone either. So it's going to be like the opinions are going to be split. But I just think that there's a way, if you are talented and creative enough, and if you're willing to just break out of your comfort zone a little bit, there's a way that we can have our cake and eat it too with the format of this damn show. Like, you could have Punk start the show, get interrupted somehow, and then come back like, no, I'm getting my time. They told me I got time, and I'm getting my time. So you can have him at the beginning and the end, and through the middle, and several points throughout, and you can still get over all the teams and talents that you want throughout the show if you just switch the orders around and cut the times down and add times to other things and do those little things. Like Ray, you could have got basically the exact same show, but just shuffled a little bit, and you might have enjoyed it even more.
So I do have the hour by hour breakdown here.
Give Brandon Thurston some money.
It says hour number 1, 11/27/23, average audience of, like I said before, 1,884,000. Hour 1, 1,998,000. Hour 2, it dropped down to 1,888,000. Hour 3, it dropped down to 1,766,000.
Those are averages, though. There's no quarters there.
This is what I got here. I don't know.
Here, Ray,
it says that the demo is 0.65. I don't know what that means.
Who cares
Maybe you
about
guys
that?
can. I don't know.
Yeah,
But they lost 100,000. So they lost 100,000 people over the first hour, and another 100,000 people over the next hour. Is that what I'm looking at?
Yeah.
That's standard for Raw.
Yeah,
People
it is
just
pretty
fall
average.
asleep and go to bed.
Yeah.
And I think, Ray, they could have got the business done that you enjoyed on the show, but they could have heightened it. They could have maximized the true excitement that people are about that if they had peppered in and played more to the high end of what people were interested in. There's nothing wrong. Hey, I love seeing Dirty Dom get his ass beat by Randy Orton. That's fine. I am, as a fan in the bubble, I am intrigued by Nakamura and Cody Rhodes, but that's not growing an audience on a missed opportunity when their product is the hottest that it's been. The buzz is bigger than it's been for the last decade.
All right. Well, I don't know if you guys are sticking around for NXT, but let's have some round robin closing thoughts. I want to go with Chris, then Rick, and then I'm gonna go with the vet last.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, for me, like, I think that RBV just kind of laid it out. So did Vet. I think that this is exactly what I was saying to begin with, right? Like, you can start with Punk, right? You get everybody excited right off the bat. They see what they want to see, and if you can hook them somehow to let them know, hey, after the main event, you're going to see Punk again. Right? You have that moment where, like, oh, Punk's going to say something else, or he's going to do something else, or he might get physical, or it might whatever. If you promise him at the end, you're going to get more people to stick around too. And then I think that you do a better job of, like, the people who are just coming back to see CM Punk are going to go, oh, well, I'm here and I saw what I wanted to see, and I'm excited because I got to see what I wanted to see, and now I'm going to see more of it at the end of the show. Great, I'm going to stick around. But again, like, you know, the numbers are pretty much standard. Like Vet said, this is what it usually does. So apparently they didn't lose an awful lot of viewers like me, but I definitely tuned out. And I can tell you that for me, it wasn't just, you know, I was watching the end of whatever the fuck else is on at 6:30 on the USA Network. I tuned into Raw to watch it, and then I tuned out of Raw because I wasn't getting anything like what I was expecting. But yeah, I mean, I think that you can get everything that, you know, Ray, you said you liked out of Monday Night Raw, but just have CM Punk at the beginning. I thought that you would have gotten more out of it.
You don't think that the viewership would have dipped a lot more if CM Punk was at the end of the show, as we saw here?
Not if he was not if you showed him at the start and then promised that they were going to see him again.
All right, Rick, you jump in here, but before that, this is what I thought of Chris's comments.
All I can tell you, sir, is that he's gay. Gay, gay!
All right, what's next?
Lowest common denominator booking. They are
Just for you,
terrified to get out of their own way.
You're wrong.
They forgot how to be edgy. They forgot how to move a needle forward. They are complacent with everything they have going on. And I do find it funny that even amongst this backlash, they are getting blasted by the majority here. That this morning we're getting reports that it was old Bruce that was running the show. Nobody else wants to step up for this thing. So they're
Bruce Pritchard?
And yeah, they said Bruce had the reins for Monday night.
Interesting.
Not that he wrote everything, but he was the showrunner.
Sure.
All right, that makes sense. Vet, close this out here, and we're going to jump into NXT.
I love CM Punk. He's my favorite wrestler.
He was right.
CM Punk was right.
Is that it? Is that all?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for NXT. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is NXT 1.7. November 28, 2023, ladies and gentlemen, headlined by a fatal four-way of former North American champions. We're going to hear from Dominic Mysterio. We're going to hear from Chase University. A statement. It's one hell of a show this week, I thought. I enjoyed it, but again, I've been wrong before. We have, what's the name of the pay-per-view? Undisputed? Underlined? What is it? It's coming up. Undesired?
Yes, both of those.
Undesired. What the hell's the pay-per-view coming up? Unhinged? What is it called?
Deadline.
Deadline. Fuck. God damn it. Chris, did you watch NXT?
No, because I am the lapsed fan.
Son of a bitch. I mean, you can just hang out and just sit there and look pretty if you're bored. I
Or
like that.
Feel free to hit the bricks. There's no hard feelings.
Yeah, I like that picture behind you, though. Who's that?
I like to give all of our guests the opportunity to exit if they don't want to talk about NXT, even if they did watch it. So it's just a courtesy we like to do.
That's a very nice courtesy, and I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of it. I just wanted to come on here and be one more voice to tell Ray that he's wrong today. But I love you, Ray. I am gay, by the way, but only for you. I love you, Ray.
I'm serious. I'm not going to sit back and take this fucking shit.
But you are, though, because you haven't kicked me off yet. Anyway, thanks, everybody.
All right. See you Sunday,
Are you leaving?
I got to get out of here, yeah.
Yeah, he's out.
Okay, fine. All right. So goodbye, Chris.
Bye.
He's got a lot of maple syrup to drink. He doesn't have time to talk about NXT.
Ladies and gentlemen, we bid Chris goodbye. He's gone. Chris was fucking wrong. And dumb. But I like him. Okay. All right, Vet, do your vet thing.
Okay, we're starting off hot with it's Ghost Scratch versus the Family. Okay, they're going to brawl to the ring.
Yes.
And the referee's going to start the match. And the match goes for a while, and then I thought, okay, they're taking it home, and they went to a break.
Oh,
and I was like, well, this is fucked. This sucks.
Ah.
So after a mess of a match, the Family ends up retaining the title. RBV. I and Ray enjoyed Tony D'Angelo a lot more when he first came out. Granted, it was still somewhat ironically that we were enjoying it. Like, we're like, can you believe how lame this is?
Ridiculous.
But it was funny. Yeah. And now it's like we're supposed to just treat him like he's a person. And he's got this other kid that really just has, like, what's going on with his hair? What's going on with his gear? What is this? Why do we have to watch this? And they're the tag team champions. Never mind the whole, the guys who were scratched by their grandfather in the chest. Like, I'm not even going to talk about that. But I mean, we're like, if you've been watching NXT, like, you've seen these guys. Like, where do you stand on these teams? Did you think any differently of this match, or did you think it was as much of a sloppy mess as I did?
The way they started there, I like getting after it. You know,
Right.
especially like they're bringing the excitement. They're playing it. They're rolling off of last week. But, you know, to speak to what you're talking about, you know, the mobster act. And I think what worked in it initially, because they were the typical villains, they're doing bad guy things, but it was turned up to, you know, what they always say, you know, turn it up to 10 and rip the dial off. And that's what kind of
filmed crimes. A lot of filmed crimes.
It was so cheesy and generic of every stereotype that you get that it worked in the way that you had mentioned that. But now we're supposed to be sympathetic towards that. And I have a hard time with, what do they call her? The shot caller, you know, they got the female that's, you know, handling all the business. I like coming out. I like the shotgun start. Let's get it on here, especially after last week when they jumped them after the dinner. I'm feeling that energy. I'm feeling that vibe. Again, though, I honestly, though, with it, the way this thing was going, I was a little disappointed we got the match this week. I just wish it would have been thrown out and a little bit more build between these two.
I didn't think about it that way. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, you agree with that, Ray? What else do you have to say?
I do. I mean, I review matches differently. Like, I mean, yeah, it was a little crazy. It's weird because it was like the match seemed rushed, even though they had plenty of time. So I get what you're saying when you were saying that it was a little sloppy and a little crazy and a little all over the place. But for me,
did you real quick before I forget? Did you also see that thing I was talking about, both you guys, where it's like you felt the finish coming on, and it's like we're going to break?
Yeah,
like no break. Finish the match. No more.
I was almost half expecting when they came back for break, they're like, the match ended while we were at commercial.
Yeah,
let's show you the clip here of what happened.
But you know, with that being said, man, I think both are good, decent tag teams. I think Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo are a really good tag team. You know, I think they're very good. It was okay. Like, it kept my attention, if that makes any sense. And the energy was very high, even though it was all over the place. So I didn't find myself looking at my phone. I didn't find myself, you know, dwindling off into the sunsets or the moon in the sky from last night when I was watching.
Humberto Carrillo was a sunset. You see how orange that kid is now?
Well, you know, what are you gonna do?
Did he just dunk himself in self tanner?
Is it cheaper to use a spray tan or to tan? Because I never do that. Which is cheaper?
Probably it's similar.
Yeah, they cost the same.
I think it's kind of similar. But whatever. You know, at least he was evenly coated this week, unlike some of the other people.
So anyway, I enjoy the what's the word? The dysfunction of this match. I can't explain it, but I found myself entertained. So I liked it, but I agree with Rick, and I didn't think about this, that, you know, it would have been cool if they would have beat the shit out of each other for quite some time. Maybe one of the teams, maybe the heel team, getting the upper hand and doing something really fucked up, nefarious to hurt one of these guys, and then kind of.
Which one's the heel team?
Well,
that's the problem.
The Scratch the Mexican guys.
Yeah, I guess, but why are they heels? Like, what do they do that's any different than what the family does?
Because
the
they're
family
foreigners.
Throws people in trunks sometimes.
They're foreigners. Heels are foreigners. You know how wrestling
Italy's
is.
A foreign country.
But they're from New York or Chicago. Where are they from? Where are they supposed to be from?
Up there we don't know anything about that. Isn't that when he got introduced, he was up there filming outside your place, Rick?
I think that wasn't New York. That shit like fucking Toronto.
Well, Tony went to college in Buffalo, I think. So.
Oh, well,
who cares? Let's stop talking about it.
It is what it is.
Speaking of talking, Dragunov is not a fan of people who like Baron Corbin's lifestyle behind his back.
Yeah, he was pretty pissed.
So he's not going to be having that. And especially Nathan Fraser. Don't be talking about, I got a hard-hitting home truth for you, Nathan Fraser. Fuck you is basically what Dragunov said. How dare you want things?
How dare you want to be happy and touch your kids? Wait, right, not touch your kids. You know what I mean?
Sounds weird. You know.
I said that way.
Well, Thea Hale's kind of a kid. So anyway, yeah, that's what kicks this off. Dragunov doesn't like people talking about him and his family behind his back. So we're gonna have a match later, Rick, I assume.
Rick, did you feel uncomfortable for what's the flippy guy's name? The little flippy guy that he was yelling at?
Nathan Fraser.
Did you feel uncomfortable for Fraser? Like that you thought that maybe I don't know, that fucking, like, there's something about this dude, man, Dragunov, that's so like fucking, like, I think this is him. I don't even know if this is him turned up 10. I think that, like, this is him. I'm not saying that he beats his children, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, then thank God he's away from them then, right? If he is.
Right.
Let me ask you guys about this. This whole, I love the two sides of the coin here with Baron Corbin getting back to those roots when he was so good in NXT, when it was that he didn't need to go to the indies. He was just born for this, that he's better. I love that aspect of him. That was so hot then, and how they're kind of parlaying that into what he's doing now, very similar to that. When we get to the champ, though, it's supposed to be a sympathetic. He's chasing this dream. It's a struggle to be away from his family, but he continues to come out looking like $1 million. He's got the best looking suits, all of those things. I mean, it's hard to truly, develop and feel that sympathy towards him.
He should be in like a tracksuit or something, right?
He's still living the freaking dream, You see, he's dressed to the nines.
We never said it was a financial struggle.
You have to understand. Here's the deal. He's dressed to the T, but his kids are fucking barely eating. His wife is collecting food stamps.
So he's living the dream of a lot of schleps that are watching wrestling that wish they could just get the hell away from their wife and kids and go live their dream in another country doing something.
Right.
Well, listen. Go ahead, Vet.
I was just gonna say this doesn't really. This kind of rings false. This whole premise of.
What?
Hey, look at all this stuff I've got. And the guy that he's talking to looks rich. It's not like he's talking to Joe Gacy or something. He looks like, Dragunov looks like he has as much money as Baron Corbin does. So I don't really get why we need to take that angle with it. But
Yo, what was
up with the drive-by in the background with the guys with the face paint or the mask on?
Oh, yeah.
That's fucking Dante Chin and I don't know who the other fucking guy. Who's the other guy?
You remember Boa.
It's Boa. They're going to be something. They're going to be called the Great Mutas. I'm kidding. I don't know. But wouldn't it be funny? Not funny, but would you guys, if you guys were booking this NXT thing, and if anyone listening to the show, because sometimes we say things that things kind of happen. So I'm sure they have stooges out there. How cool would it be if maybe Baron Corbin took a flight to Russia and you see him sitting down like at the home of Dragunov with the wife? And she's like kind of disheveled and frustrated. The kids are running around her, the house is a mess. And, she's pretty hungry. And Baron Corbin goes, your husband doesn't take care. And she's like burying him kind of, but like afraid to bury him. Does that make any sense? And then I would actually have Baron Corbin go, you know what? He's going to pull out like $1,000 American dollars, go buy yourself something. I think that would be fucking awesome. Your thoughts?
I could get aboard a bit here, but I mean, who the hell wants to go to Russia, especially Baron Corbin?
It's not going to be really Russia. It's going to be fake Russia. TV Russia. Come on, dude.
What if Baron Corbin started a campaign with those cheesy commercials like, hey, you can help out his family for 5 cents a day.
Oh, set up a fucking GoFundMe.
Or whatever, the case.
Like a telethon.
Oh, that would be crazy.
Or, you see the commercials, where they got the sad sympathy music in the background, and the girl's like, and the one that hits me here, it's not because of religious thing, but it's help the Jews that are stranded in Russia, and this bitch is walking around with like a $500 coat on, where they got this 90-year-old lady like freezing and starving to death, and she's sitting right next to her. You can help them out.
The fat bitch from fucking All in the Family.
Yeah, that's one of those Tina Others commercials. That's very much something that NXT would do, Ray. That's exactly the kind of thing that they would do. The only fault I find with that is that I don't think his family lives in Russia. I'm pretty sure they're probably in Germany, which is not as impoverished. I'm sure there's impoverished areas of Germany.
That's where I thought they were coming from. Or if Baron Corbin just brought them over to America and like paid for them to
and housed them.
Yes.
And he hired his wife as like a maid or something. They have the kids cleaning his car. Oh, come on. This shit'll be great. Anyway, I don't know. I'm scared of fucking Dragon.
Oh, it's great. Jerry the King Lawler.
Bro, that dude, bro. Poor guy.
Yes, bless Jerry Lawler. He decides that for his picks for the Iron Survivor challenge qualifying matches, he wants, of course, Bron Breakker.
Right. Well,
how did he not get picked already? Why is Bron picked last at Kickball? Well, actually, I guess Eddie Thorpe's pick last at kickball, technically. But yeah, so that's his 2 picks. And then for the ladies, he wants to pick Kelani Jordan, who was almost breakout star of the year, and Kiana James, who was also almost breakout star the previous year. So we got a couple of breakout runner-ups facing off for who's the biggest loser. And this all took place on X. I could notice that this little video from Jerry Lawler was edited. I don't know if you go to X, if it's actually edited, or if they just cut it for TV. Like, okay, we don't need the whole thing. We'll just show this part of the thing.
He probably said something really fucked up, and they just cut it out, like puppies or something.
I was wondering that, but then I thought, maybe, I don't know. Well,
I thought the same thing.
If you guys care that much, you can go see his tweet and see if it's edited or not.
This nigga said, I'm sorry, Labrat says this was AI Jerry.
Yes.
That's great.
Deep fake.
AI
Jerry
Lawler.
All right, Kelani Jordan makes her entrance. But we can't just have a match. We got to go to break. We got to come back. We got to get a package for Johnny Gargano.
Of course we do.
Then we got to have the country trio backstage get interrupted by Brian Pillman Jr. And then Josh Briggs apparently is, helping Shawn Michaels out with the booking duties because he says you're going to have a match with Brooks Jensen later.
Mm-hmm.
Him and his beard. And then we get an Instagram shows us a heavy bag workout, and the heavy bag is kicking a heavy bag. Just kidding. That's not very nice.
That's not nice.
Yeah, that's not nice. What am I? We all love Nikita Lyons, and she's here. Nikita Lyons is here. What's Nikita Lyons doing in the Performance Center?
Nikita Lyons will keep you warm on a cold Russian day, my friends.
Mm-hmm.
So don't,
for just $5 a month.
Oh, yeah.
You can sign up to Channel Attitude and hear us make fun of people's women. Oh, Jimmy T's in the house.
Yay. We love Jimmy.
All right. So finally, the Kiana copter lands and Kiana gets out for her match against Kelani Jordan. Liz is definitely not a fan of Nikita Lyons.
Liz,
never has been.
Why don't you love Nikita Lyons there, Elizabeth? I don't understand. Yeah. Why?
I don't know, but I love Kiana James. She is great. I think she's coming up around her 2-year anniversary in the entire business.
She's doing well.
Which, when you compare her to some other people that have only been in the business a certain amount of time, she's really good. She does do a little bit of hair brushing, which I'm not a fan of, but I'm almost willing to overlook that because of how well she does everything else. Kelani, not so much. But
well, Rick, it seems like you're zoning out here, buddy. You're right.
Yeah, I was going through my own notes here because as he's describing the match, I had to go to my notes because I had to just try to recall this match itself. Fairly new to both of these chicks here, as you said. They're both, haven't been in the business that long. I did have here, and I want to ask both of you on this thing. Going over, you had Perez get involved there to continue, the storyline, the program she's got going on. For this Kelani Jordan, for her to give her this opportunity, like, is this more of a, hey, let's put you in something high profile and see if you sink or swim?
Kelani Jordan, in my opinion, has incredible upside. I think that kid has incredible upside as a white meat babyface female wrestler. Vet's homegirl. What's her name? I draw a blank on names, guys. Kiana James. That girl
also a favorite of Charles the Hammer Evans. If Charles is in the house, shout out to Charles.
I didn't see him. What's up, Charles? I think that woman, she's come so far in such a short amount of time. She looks like she's been wrestling for like 10 years, like on TV.
Wrestling for 2 years.
It's incredible.
She made her debut September 11th, 2021.
It's crazy, like how good she is, and how far she's come. And she's outgrown that gimmick they've given her as a business person. Like, I don't look at her as a gimmick anymore. I just look at her as a fucking really talented wrestler. When I see Kelani Jordan in the ring, honestly, like I said, I see a kid that she's going to be there. She's going to be in NXT for a little while. I think maybe another year or two, maybe even 2 years, maybe, who knows. But I think athletically, I think the kid, she puts in a lot of work at selling. You know, she's not bad at taking bumps, in my opinion. I'm not an expert. Vet would you know, I would take the vet's opinion over that. But I think she's pretty good at taking bumps, and I think the kid is she's a good hand right now, man, for NXT. So well, Rick didn't like either of them, right?
Yeah, it's just one of those things. We got so much going on, the flow, the transition, so much happening inside.
You didn't watch the match, did you? Come on, be honest.
I did. I had it on. I had blocked it. I didn't do anything.
So Rick Vickrey is cutting out right now, so that means that
show, nope.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Side work. I had my eyes glued on the screen, taking notes. Just to make sure I was.
Mm-hmm. So as Rick is caught in his bold-faced lie, he freezes, and nothing was.
I watched it. I watched it. Yeah.
Oh!
I watched this whole thing. You did.
Okay. And okay. All right. Anyway, with that being said, what do you got, Vet?
Okay. Well, anyway, just in case you were wondering about the finish, Roxanne Perez comes out and rings the bell to distract her nemesis, Kiana James.
A lot of bell ringing and stealing this show.
Yeah, a lot of that. She rings the bell.
There was a lot of involvement from the bell this week.
Yeah, timekeeper is going to lose his job, bastard.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to have to keep it.
Mark Yeaton is rehired by NXT, and he's going to lose his job again.
They're going to have to keep the bell in like one of those glass cases that have a little padlock on it, and then when the match is over, you have to see the guy struggle with the little key. Open the thing and then ring the bell. It's gonna happen because that thing's getting stolen.
Completely disrupt the flow of everything.
Incredible.
But anyway, yeah. So that allows Kalani Jordan to hit the split-legged best moonsault ever to win, and there you go. She wins. So once again, Kiana going under, but she's doing her best.
Right.
Then we get a Cameron Grimes package.
Cameron Grimes.
Yep. To the moon, and then Alpha Academy challenges Metaphor to a mixed six because they have 2 women in Metaphor, so they only have 1 woman in Alpha Academy. So I guess Tozawa doesn't count as a woman, so they're just going to have to drop it down to 6.
Okay.
Even though Rhea Ripley did defeat Akira Tozawa in a singles match, so
she did.
Yes,
I must have missed that
some weeks ago now, but it definitely happened.
Where was it, on Raw or SmackDown or something?
Yeah, I think it was on Raw.
Oh my God,
Raw. Yeah. So he does have some experience with the intergender stuff. So,
did he? So he wrestled her, like he fought her, he hit her with strikes and shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Did he just get his
if you want to look that up on your own time, Ray, you might be entertained. It was a decently worked match, I guess, from what I remember.
What was that, Rick?
I thought he just got his ass beat.
He got a little bit of shit in.
Really?
But he did the struggle of like not wanting to punch her in the face. He's a gentleman.
God, give me a break.
Yeah,
I punch her in the face with my penis.
Yeah, exactly. Do you see her at Survivor Series? Fuck.
Bro,
holy shit.
That is a woman.
What?
Wow. Wowie. Wow.
Hey, those Japanese pay good money to have big American women beat on them like that.
Do they really?
Yeah, well, I'm an American and she can. Well, no, she's not gonna beat on me.
You're gonna beat on her, aren't you?
Do the beating, but
right, you will.
Yeah,
that big old.
And I'm not into the piercing, tattoo, that whole gimmick, and still she can get it.
She's very pretty. She's very, very pretty. Like, it's crazy. I'm not into women built that way either, but she's just very good looking. Good for her.
But on topic,
yes.
You know who else is good looking and big? Lash Legend, and then you've also got Jakara Jackson, no slouch herself. So metaphors, they got it going on.
I actually had in my notes, Jakara Jackson can get it.
Yeah,
Jakara Jackson
absolutely.
can get it. Official notes from RBV.
Official notes from RBV.
And special guest appearance on RBV Eats Out.
Hey.
So Anonymous has footage of the night.
Put a couple of those suckers up on eBay.
Anonymous has footage of the night that Trick was attacked.
I missed this.
They don't have the attack. They just have footage of that night when he leaves the room, and then you see Pillman like, hey, where's he going? And then he goes after him, and then that's all we really see there. So a little intrigue to fuel the fire that it was Pillman that attacked Carmelo Hayes that time. Or Trick Williams, excuse me.
You know, I must have fast forwarded through this. So what did they show exactly? I really didn't.
You didn't see it?
No, because I remember I downloaded it and I watched it on the train. So what exactly?
You probably had a puff of crack smoke in your face at the time. You were clearing it out, and then
very frustrating.
You got Trick walking into a dark room, kind of getting hyped up. You know, there was a little stretch, and he's about ready to make an exit stage left. But as he's walking into the room, you can see this lurking figure, this shadow at the bottom left-hand corner. And you focus your eyes a little bit, and you're like, "Holy shit, that's Brian Pillman Jr." And then as Trick goes to exit the room, you've got kind of a slithering out of the darkness there, Brian Pillman Jr., and then he goes hell-bent sprinting out of that room like he's on the attack.
So it looks like he's going to attack him.
Yes. But we can't see it. It's in the other room. There's no cameras in that next room.
Again, this is brought to you by the X.
I still think it's fucking Carmelo.
Carmelo?
Yeah, I think Carmelo Hayes attacked
Carmelo
Trick
is
Williams.
money? Oh, no. Oh, I thought you're...
I can't breathe.
Okay, well, next is Andre Chase breaks his silence.
Sure does.
Apparently, they're being accused of gambling at Chase University, misuse of university funds, and this has put the university in crippling debt. And Andre Chase basically says, "Well, I can't talk about some of this, but it's all true." So whatever.
So was he the gambler, or you don't know either?
He doesn't say. He doesn't say. So I don't know, RBV. Is this the kind of thing that would really happen if is this a parody of some specific college press conference or something that I'm not aware of?
A lot of this is one of those over the top, just cheesy things that you're going to see from the development here. That kind of borders those lines between Shindy and the big leagues that for whatever guilty pleasure I have enjoyed. But when it was a scandal involving the head of administration, a teacher, something like that, I was fully expecting some kind of sex scandal, something along those lines. But I guess
that's what I thought.
There was some gambling stuff here. Again, they're not answering any questions, but the funds were misspent. So I just did a Google here. I'm just trying to figure out. Maybe you guys can help me out here. I can't find anything. What is tuition? And available scholarships for Chase U. I mean, how much does it cost to get that higher level of education?
Never once mentioned.
Reptilian Britt Baker looked most guilty out of the whole crew, Bobo said.
Yeah. Well, she's like the most recent person to sort of attend. She's actually not attending Chase U, I think, officially. I think she's like that person that like has a friend at the school, which would be Thea, and she just goes in and sits on the classes. She's not doing the homework, not taking the test. She's just sitting there, which if you've ever been to college, you could totally do. That's kind of it. And then gambling, this has something to do with Tony D'Angelo and them, but we just don't know what.
Yes. So I just looked up, I Googled just in case, like maybe they did it. I Googled the Chase University website for students. And there's nothing up, so that's an opportunity that they could have
sworn they had one at one point.
I don't see that.
Just for a gimmick.
No, they did.
Maybe that's part of it. They're not accredited.
Yeah. How do you take
if
on?
They had an online school,
I was about to say that.
University of Phoenix or whatever those things are. All right. Well, next is Bron versus Eddy Thorpe, and yeah,
I thought Eddy Thorpe was going to win.
Did you know?
No.
Yeah, Bron no-sells his way to his victory, but it takes a while.
Shouldn't have
Eddy Thorpe, on the other hand, selling his ass off. Like
he was.
Which usually doesn't happen. He usually tries to do too much, but this time he just took his beating and sold it, and I thought that worked for him. It was a slightly different side of him. What do you think, Ray?
I was going to actually go to Rick. What did you think of Eddy Thorpe, Rick?
Just again, it was. My thoughts were, who is this guy? He's already coming out here injured. This should be an easy, just smash job for Bron. It went a lot longer than I expected it would. Although Bron dominated most of this thing. But I do have here. It's how the mighty have fallen. This is what they can find for Bron to do. And I was even thinking, even last week and then into this week, where the hell has he been? And where does he fit into the grand scheme right now? It seems like he's kind of circulating there in limbo in NXT. They've moved on and found some other things. Obviously, it's development. They're trying to rise people up. But you look how hot and stacked that main roster is, especially through Mania season. It's not like they can make a move for him that now. No. I mean, he's kind of just in limbo for the time being until you get through to the spring.
His father fucked him over by going into business for himself at that fucking indie event when he was cursing out what's her name, that he chick.
Oh, from over at Impact.
Yeah, man, he fucked up.
But even after that came out, I mean, they still, seemed like they were still high on him. That's when he was having the title. He was the draw, or was different. You could tell they were just waiting for the right opportunity to kind of phase him.
Yeah, it was different, and this shit came quick, dude.
We'll teach you a lesson. We're gonna have you on TV every week still, but you're just gonna be doing jobs. That'll teach you for what your dad said.
He lost a bunch, didn't he, Vet? Though.
Yes, Well, it's funny because in the match with Eddy Thorpe, he's like, he says like, nobody can beat me. And it's like, well, everybody beat you.
Yeah.
The only person that you've beat recently was that manager that dresses his kids up in, 3-piece suits for dinner.
Yeah. Rick has no idea what you're talking about, Pat.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Trick and Mello. On the other hand,
hey, I enjoyed that stupid segment too when they had him over for dinner.
Oh, fuck.
That was great.
You know what? You can find Rick Vickrey at RBV, the real RBV. Trick and Mello discuss what to do about Pillman in the back, and Trick decides, nothing. We're not gonna do nothing.
No, we're friends.
We ain't like that no more, man.
Yeah, they're better than that. They've moved up.
Word up.
They're trying to get out the mud. The Rock's daughter explains to Roxanne that they're going to be last chance qualifiers for the Iron Survivor Challenge, and then the whole locker room gets into a fight.
Can you answer me this one question?
No,
so they had all this intrigue with the Rock's daughter going into Shawn Michaels' office, right? Mm-hmm. Why even put her on TV for this?
Well, she had to say that Shawn Michaels told her. That's why she went in the office, and that's what she learned in the office.
It's fucking crazy. Why can't she open her mouth when she talks?
No, she does open her mouth.
She talks like this.
No, she talks normal. She just has the resting teeth face.
Rick.
She was eating some muffins.
Bronson Reed package. Y'all like Bronson Reed up in here?
No.
Okay.
I like all these packages through the show with the guys returning. Get you hyped for it. Get you excited for what's happening there in your main event.
Yeah, they're fine. They're fine packages.
Okay.
Dragunov enters, and then they go to break. But you know what they get after break? Nathan Fraser enters. They actually didn't put 3 more little skits in between the entrance for the match, so that was nice.
Interesting.
And we get Nathan versus Ilya here, and then the beatdown ensues. This could have been even more of a beatdown than Eddy Thorpe got. It certainly didn't last as long as that one. And after he's done pulverizing the shit out of this baby face for having an opinion, then Baron Corbin shows up on the screen, and he says, hey, I'm talking to you like you're probably used to, because your family does this too, right? Like saying he's always talking to his family on a Zoom call or whatever. And then
that was hilarious.
As soon as he's done dressing Dragunov down, they play Baron Corbin's music for a video wall. Like, I know he's not here, but hit his music, guys. Come on. You heard that, right? That was cold. Hit his music.
I'll tell you what, man. Dragunov really beat the shit out of this kid, as so he should have. He is the NXT champion, and he's a fucking maniac. And I love the way he fucking just finished. He finished him.
Ray,
yes.
Where's Big Body Hobby for these kind of matches? Like, why does poor Nathan Fraser have to? He never did anything wrong.
Well, Rick's gonna break it down. Rick.
Well, obviously his big crime was wanting more in life. You know, how dare him here? I mean, it just looks so devastating having somebody out there that size just absolutely getting destroyed. One thing that did pop, when they had Corbin, when they do the video thing, he drops into that line there. I thought I'd talk to you how you talk to your family through a video screen.
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
That was awesome. That was fantastic. Corbin is very good at certain things.
Yeah, he's all right. Next is Mackenzie with Lyra, Fallon, and some weirdo in the back. Who's that weirdo, Ray? You recognize that weirdo?
Mackenzie? No.
Remember there was a weirdo like in the back, and they were like, "Who's that weirdo?"
I don't. Oh, Joe Gacy?
No, it was a female weirdo.
I don't know.
Chad?
Did I miss this?
It was like Mackenzie was interviewing Lyra Valkyria, and then Fallon Henley came in and was like, "Hey, I just want to let you know that I don't know what she said. I wasn't paying attention. It's Fallon Henley." And then there was some
she's going to win the last chance and then be the next contender. Right. And then you had that, I don't know what, that witch devil freaking woman.
Who was that? I don't know who that is. I watch this shit every week.
Frank Spiegelberg says Johnny Gargano?
No. He was later. We know him. We know that weirdo.
Chat, we need your help, man, because I don't even remember this.
Yeah, new female NXT weirdo. Google
I was blowing my nose at the time.
She had the same hair as Miss Jackie in the video that we watched earlier.
Yes.
Poor Miss Jackie.
It
was Gary. Oh no,
it's not Gary.
Was it Wendy?
No, it wasn't Wendy. It was a white chick. So was it Paxum Tately? I haven't seen her in a while.
I don't know. Who the fuck is that?
I don't know.
Anyway,
but you know who else we got a package on is Karate Carmen, where she does her little demonstration. She talks about her black belt and all this other stuff. It just was a small note for Carmen.
Cora Jade?
No.
It wasn't her.
No, it's not her.
Was it Perez?
No.
Was it AI?
No.
Oh, he said
maybe. I don't know.
He said the online girl. That's Peyton Taxley, whatever her name is, right?
No, the online girl, that was
DJ who? What was her name?
DJ Zima Ion.
She was the worst.
Yeah, I don't know. What was her name? Stevie Turner.
Stevie Turner. What the fuck happened to her?
She's dating one of the Pretty Deadlies.
Bro.
Or at least she was.
Rick wasn't watching during this time. Maybe it was her.
Yeah, I remember it.
No, she was Stevie a blonde, Richards. Though.
It wasn't.
I guess you could change her hair color, but anyway, Carmen, karate literally means empty hand. So your sword gimmick doesn't make sense. Maybe if you had a different martial art, that would make sense.
I agree. Karen Angle.
Metaphor accepts the
when
challenge.
Did swords become so over in pro wrestling? Like everybody that has any martial arts has to have a fucking sword now.
You don't have a sword?
No.
No, and no one's been cut, surprisingly, which is very nice.
Stevie Nicks? Who's Stevie Nicks? All right, I guess we don't know who it is, guys.
All right, Metaphor accepts the challenge from earlier.
Sure,
Alpha Academy, Mix 6. Gacy does a selfie promo from underneath the ring. Matches are going on while he's talking.
He's turned into that's his new gimmick. He's a homeless guy.
Mm-hmm.
Living on roofs, living under the ring, stealing things. I mean, we'll talk about that later, but
yeah.
Fall apart.
Well, almost right now, because the next match is who is this? Grace? Oh yeah,
Ariana Grace. Yeah.
Ariana Grace versus Karate Carmen. They work a hand kiss taunt back and forth. Some wrestling happens, and then Joe Gacy steals the ring bell, and then they go to break. Like, that's a perfect spot to hit. It's like, what? Joe Gacy stole the ring bell. We got to go to break. And then they come back from break, and there's a little more martial arts and wrestling, and then Ariana Grace pokes Carmen in the eyes, and then hits the wasteland. And everybody's like, "There's no bell," and then Gacy's like, "Don't worry, I got this." Ding, 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 ding. So he has this from the bell.
What is wrong with him? He looks terrible, almost disheveled.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm taking Carmen. I'm responsible for Carmen. Hopefully she's improved a little bit, at least in your eyes, Ray, with this match here, because she's also working somebody that's a little bit better too, but they're both kind of, new at this. So it's not perfect, but
I fucking love Ariana Grace.
Right.
I think a judo player will kick a karate person's ass any day of the week.
Yeah. If they can grab them.
If they can grab them, right. Which Ariana Grace is very big for a female.
Right. Any thoughts you have, RBV? Any of these people, any of this stuff, any.
I was entertained by the Under the Ring promo. The new direction that they have going there. Thankfully, they got ring bells just laying around everywhere. Everyone's just taking control of these things. Make yourself the booker, make yourself the timekeeper, whatever the case might be.
Oh yes, Ariana Grace's boob did pop out quite a bit. Vet, I know you were a very big proponent. Like you don't like when people are adjusting their gear or wiping their hair. Ariana Grace was legitimately trying to push her titty into her bra the entire match. Your thoughts?
It's important to know how your gear is going to function in a real setting before you actually go out on TV with it. That's my advice to all aspiring wrestlers. Get your gear ahead of time. You'll notice, like, a lot of times, maybe there'll be like a big event, a major PLE, if you will, and then somebody will have brand new gear, and then during the match they're constantly like adjusting their gear because it doesn't fit quite right. It's either too loose or it's riding up or something like that, and they're constantly fucking with it, and that lets you know that they got it and they tried it on that day for the first time and it was too late to do anything else, so they went with it. Those are the things that
I would say even more important than making sure you have the gear that fits is to make sure that you have titties to pop out.
Well, she has titties to pop out.
I was going to say, I mean, that's good, but in today's age, they frown on. They don't push them for the gimmicks anymore.
Well, all I want to say is, with the holiday season coming about, I just want to present to you Ariana Grace. Merry Christmas.
There we go.
So Mackenzie's with Wesley backstage. In so many words, he says he has to win. Yeah, no shit. All right. Next we get Brian Pillman Jr. versus Bull Buchanan Jr. Trick and Mello are watching in the back, and then Mello's like, "Hey, I gotta go do something." And Trick's like, "Yeah, all right." Like he doesn't see where this is going, like every single other one of us does.
Yeah, we all know.
Fucking awkward match. A lot of chin locks. Another case of the blind leading the blind. 2 second-generation wrestlers that not showing the aptitude that their fathers had.
I was getting a real Magnum TA vibe from Brooks Jensen. I don't know what it was this week about him.
It was the fluffy mullet and...
was that what it was? Like, I was looking at the kid, I was like, God damn, this kid reminds me of Magnum TA, even though Magnum TA was an incredible worker. But this kid is just... something about him. It's just like, God damn, this kid's like a Magnum TA reborn again. Very similar, physique and I guess it was the fluffy mullet and the mustache and everything. Yep. Okay. That's all I got out of this.
That's it. Well, he's, neither one of these guys, they're no Keanu James. I'll put it that way. No. All right. So Mello comes out surprising everyone or just Trick probably.
No.
Does the jump up. Then, Briggs comes out immediately. Like it's almost as if they expected this or planned this or talked about it in the back. Briggs comes out, stops him from getting involved. And then Pillman cuts off, Jensen and hits him with the coronation, which is just some sort of a straitjacket spinning neck breaker or whatever. Yeah. Any thoughts on this, Ray? What'd you think? What'd you think of this whole piece of business?
It's okay. Like I said, I couldn't like not look at Brooks Jensen and think of Magnum TA for some reason during this match, but it was fine. It was okay. Like Lexus King is okay. He's not going to be as big a star. People are forgetting. All these TNA, all these AEW people coming over. Lexus King or who's Lexus? Brian Pillman Jr.
Brian Pillman Jr.
No, kind of another big steal for the WWE there. So good on him. He needs I know, Rick, not that big a steal, but still a steal nonetheless. And good for him. It was okay. That's all I have to say.
Well, he's not going to last much longer if he keeps getting those shoot boots to the head. Like if you saw that on that wheel kick right there, that's not good for your brain.
No.
Rick, what do you think of these guys?
I've seen a lot of Brian Pillman, Lexus King up close. He's worked a lot of shows in this area here. Obviously, people have seen the work that he's done for AEW. Seeing him in NXT, going into this one, when he got that spot, good for him. He's moving up. He's getting that opportunity. Not the biggest fan of his, but I've been impressed with the personalities that he's shown. And I thought, man, he is a lot better in the ring than I expected him to be at this point. That's not the ultimate praise. You say that there's a lot of growth that he still needs to go through, a lot of development and time in NXT under that learning tree. I've been surprised where he's at right now. From what I've seen, just being able to be that close to him here in the area.
So you think he's gotten a lot better?
Yeah, I think even in the short time that he's been down there, whoever he's working with, they're getting through to him. And also to give him credit, it looks like that he is really dedicated and devoted to getting the best out of himself.
Okay.
Still a total
he's coming up on being like what, like a 5-6 year vet now? Like he's been doing this for a while now, guys.
I think he's had that drive. I'm trying to think like the first time that I had any interaction with him, probably 5-6 years ago. I mean, he's went and did time with, he's trained with Rip a few times. So I mean, he is hungry. He does want it, and I think a little bit. When he got that rub from AEW, and it's well documented out there. He'll talk about it. That it went to his head. He was into that deep end a little too quick than he was really ready for. I mean, he made that big move to Florida, and he had to kind of eat crow and come back here to Northern Kentucky, the Cincinnati tri-state area, and kind of regroup. And now, he's been fortunate enough to get this opportunity, and hopefully he makes the most of it. He's got the lineage. I know that passion, that drive is there. Hopefully he develops into the kind of star that they can use.
Perhaps. Now here's a better question for you, actually. So we debated the whole idea of Ray and I, that is, debated the whole idea of, ditching the identity and trying to start fresh and not acknowledge the father other than to say that I'm not acknowledging you. Does that seem like, from what you know about the kid personally, does that seem like an idea that he would have had, or does that seem like an idea that he would just go along with because he's just trying to not rock the boat? What if you had to guess? And obviously you don't know for sure, but what's your impression? Because I haven't met the kid at all, so I don't really know. But it does seem kind of awkward to spend your whole time being that,
right?
Even, so far as to be in like a Heart Foundation sort of, group, and then just show up and be like, you know what? I changed my mind. Forget my dad. So what do you think? Is that more him or more them?
I do want to, before I answer that, I do want to say, like, I've known him. I've been around him. I want to make it perfectly clear. I'm not someone that's like a chum, like when we're at a show, we're not going to get a drink together or anything like that. It's like, get in the building, find each other. What I would, with those other, it's easier to get bookings. You can up your fee, no matter what it be across the board. When you have that Pillman name, you have that lineage, that fame, especially in this area here where his dad was so beloved. So that's going to work for you. And with MLW, it's going to open the door for you. Now, obviously, WWE has that tendency to try to recreate. They want to repackage, mold you in their image. So I'm going to say he didn't have this on his radar, but when it was presented to him, I think it really hit something deep inside. So maybe that's why you're seeing him shine a little brighter. That what I'm used to, he's really embracing this opportunity to break out of that shell, to be himself. And I thought was kind of brilliant on their behalf. A lot of times, with Bron Breakker, it's just, okay, let's pretend for a while until we have to use it that he's not a Steiner. They came right out of the gate on this one and said, you know what? you know who I am. I know what my name is, but you don't really know what's inside of me. I thought that was pretty smart of him.
Okay.
So to answer the question, I think he's really embracing the opportunity to spread his own wings and fly instead of having to rely on what he's had for that last 5-6 years as Brian Pillman Jr.
Okay.
Those are big boots to fill. We all talk about
they're unfillable. They're unfillable.
Right.
Let's be honest. No one's going to fill them. His dad was one of a kind, but I still think if you can, personally, I think you can be your own person while just having the name. I don't necessarily think the name will overshadow you if you do have something to offer. If you've got nothing to offer, like so many second generation stars over the years, like one famous one that people always bring up is David Sammartino, for example. Like, if you really got nothing to offer, then yes, you will be overshadowed by the name. But then you've also got the guys like Randy Orton, who you could definitely argue made it way, 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 way past his.
I don't think it's an argument. Randy Orton's a fucking
right, which is no knock on Bob.
No,
it's just
Bob was awesome too.
Right, so
his father was really good. Like if you watch his match,
yeah,
he's a technical,
super good,
fucking,
and he was doing RKO's. Anyway, yeah, like that's what I'm trying to say. Like no one ever just thought, oh, this is just Bob Orton Jr.'s kid. He's his own thing, but he's still an Orton, right? So that's just I don't know. Anyway, if you were watching a certain feed, there may have been an abrupt edit to the ring to show Wesley standing in the ring after this match or whatever. But all it really was just an Iron Survivor explainer where they explain the rules of the match. And then you sit there and your eyes glaze over and you're like, this is worse than the King of the Mountain. And then, you just go on about your day. And then it goes to Wesley for the 4-way. We got Dirty Dom on commentary here. Domentary, if you will. And
Dirty Domentary.
I'm just going to tell you guys the truth. I really, really wanted to skip this match. Like when I saw these guys come out, I was like, oh my God. I really was like, I just want to skip to the finish. I don't want to watch a second of this, but I was like, no, I must be a professional. I wouldn't want Mike Martin to come down on me. So I watched the match. I hated every second of it. I don't like any of these people in this match. Nothing against them personally. I just see $0 anywhere in this ring. I couldn't wait for it to be over. Ivar runs in full gear, his full wrestling gear to do a run in because he just lives that Viking lifestyle, guys. And he's got heat with Bronson Reed. So, this fat half naked man runs in and attacks Bronson Reed, takes him out. Wesley hits the literal flip for the win, and he goes on to win the match that he must win, which he did. He won it.
The entire match, I was like, God damn, Bronson Reed is tired. I mean, to keep up with those little guys, he had a problem with Ivar. He was very tired during that match. That was so.
Well, he was tiring himself out just throwing them around.
Sure.
Like they weren't even hurting him at first. He was just beating all three of them up, and that was making him, very winded and tired. So
yeah, I've been there.
Eventually, they outlasted him, and another fat guy came. So.
Sorry about that, guys.
All right, it's been one of those days. Yeah. So anything to anything to add to that, Ray? Before I throw it to.
No, I think we're good. Go ahead, Rick.
All right.
It was one of those things. The stipulation seemed really weird in this match to me, but I tried to get myself invested in what was going to happen bell to bell here. It's about the journey. It is funny that with Ivar, showed up in that full ring gear. Is there like a river or something that goes from Nashville down to Orlando? I mean, does he just ride in a full Viking ship everywhere that he goes?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I am completely lost. I am off of this whole Ivar thing when he did an interruption, was it 2 weeks ago on The Miz, and you're thinking of, big Viking, a Miz, man, a big Ray voice. And he's just got this squeaky little. His wife has more of an intimidating voice than he does.
What happened to his partner? Is his partner hurt?
Yes,
he is. Okay.
For a long time.
What's going on?
Up. I don't remember exactly what the injury was, but we ain't gonna see him for a while. And that's actually the guy whose wife it is.
Oh, okay.
The wife is with the hurt guy, but she's still with him for the gimmick, the other guy. So, yeah, dude, if you think that's bad, you should. If you don't remember when they were in the car singing about being Viking Raiders with each other and all that shit, and the Street.
Is that when they were doing their comedy
stuff like that? Yeah.
When they were likely the most over that they've been.
So yeah. So would you agree with my assessment, Rick? Since I don't get to talk to you as often, would you agree with my assessment? There are $0 in this ring.
No, you're absolutely right.
Okay.
This is something possibly for one of those fillers that we were talking about earlier that you just roll out there mid-show when you got time to kill, but certainly not something that's going to have you tune in and hold on for a main event.
Right. Maybe one of these guys, like a Wesley or something, could bow up on CM Punk and then, have a 2-minute match and get a GTS, right? Like that. That'd be a nice little mid-show snack for everybody.
I like Wesley a lot, man. It's just,
you like Wesley.
It is what it is.
What a loser.
I know.
Let's all point and laugh at Ray now.
It's happened all show.
Yeah. Well, anyway. Whatever,
So Vet, how are his boys doing over on Impact, though?
Fucking shits. They replaced him with Myron Reed.
Fuck is that?
So, are you familiar with Myron Reed?
I did see that they had a third on one of the promos a couple days ago. And it did have me confused for a minute, so I researched into it. But I do remember him. I can't remember where I first saw Myron Reed, but did you do some
probably
spots with AEW?
If anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, Wes goes on to win this match, and he's gonna get another shot at Dirty Dom. And then we end the show for some reason. We get Roxy and Kiana in a parking lot brawl in very short shorts. So can't complain there.
Nope.
Action in short shorts, guys. And we're off the air.
Okay. Rick, did you enjoy this show this week?
As I said, I regularly enjoy NXT. It's become one of those guilty pleasures. I take it for what it is. I love the over-the-top cheesiness. I know the talents are in development. They're learning the ways of working the television cameras. So with the expectations, I enjoy it. Now, at the end of the show, is there ever been, or should there be an NXT Premium live event that just emulates from the parking lot?
They should have a big parking lot brawl type show. Every match, on the parking lot or the roof.
Yeah, like TNA Lockdown, but it'd be like NXT Lockout.
Yeah,
they have a battle. They should have a battle royal where you have to get thrown off the roof. How's that?
Joe Gacy already won.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, man. And again, this is no slight at AEW, but I have a very hard time sitting through 2 hours of AEW. But I never have a hard time, really that much of a hard time watching 2 hours of NXT. If that means anything. So, hey, fuck it. Do it live. Anyway. All right, guys. So we'll start off with Rick, then Vet, and then myself. Put over, pontificate, and tell us where we can find you, what you're going to be doing next. Monday Lockerroom, all that other good stuff.
I think my next go around for podcasting here on the platform, the Hameen Media Group platform, would be Monday morning, 8:30 Eastern with Ben Hameen, the Monday Locker Room.
Oh, yeah.
Looking forward to that. I do kind of have a little side project that will be hopefully streaming on the HMG YouTube page. I'm going to put these in the can for editing and all that throughout the month of December, but we're going to be releasing these for the 12 days of Christmas, beginning on Christmas Day, the 25th through January 5th. Do some pro wrestling profiles and do like 30-minute interviews, sit down with some hot names on the indie scene, let you get to know them in depth, little personal conversation with them to spread that love for indie wrestling. So looking forward to that.
Oh, cool. Vet, yourself?
Oh, you know, all the usual places at Opinion Haver. You can find me every Monday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern live, where we go on for the Impact Attack, and we make sure that the WWE is too scared to counter-program us with CM Punk, so he has to get pushed to the end, and rightly so, because we had another great show, even though Impact gave us jack shit and fuck all to work with. But we're trying, damn it, we're trying. So if you ever just wanted to ask a bunch of questions, you know, stop in on a Monday night and see if we can help you out, because generally we can wrap up the review portions early there. And then, of course, you can check me out with our run-in from Christopher Ames, and you can find us joining Jimmy T from the PWC for the Wreckage on Sunday mornings at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, where we have to talk about Collision. And that has not been fun since the Best in the World is no longer there. I'll put it that way. It definitely took a sharp decline as soon as he was gone. Like the minute he was gone, like the show just went in the tank.
Yep.
But we're still going to review it for you until it gets canceled or whatever. And then,
it will.
Yeah, and it probably will. But until that time, check us out anyway, because, you know, once again, maybe the show's not good, but hopefully we are. So hang out with us at least. And then, Wrestling with Rip Rogers every Friday, live Q&As. And then Stevie Richards every 5 seconds he's putting out a new video, whether it's a exercise equipment, a wrestling clip, for a breakdown, or some new tech, or if it's his podcast with Big Mike Barron's, the Big Fitness Show. Like, he's just putting out too much content. He's just doing too much. He's doing too much. I can't keep up with it all, but maybe you can. So check out everything Stevie Richards. That's it for me.
Very cool. Later tonight, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, man, but later tonight we have another 8 show. I'm not feeling up to doing anything, but we have a great guest. So coming back on, he actually asked to be on. Tony Arterburn is going to be coming back on tonight. So check it out. That's going to be fun. And the Pro Wrestling Reflection, like I said, this week, they're going to be doing their whole gimmick on Survivor Series 2009. So look out for that this weekend. And that's about it, guys. I think we're good to go. I got to call my doctor back. That was that phone call. And listen, here's the deal. I'm going to try to stream this shit one more time on HMG next week. And if this shit gets knocked off again on HMG, I'm just going to stream it from my personal YouTube channel. And a lot of you guys already subscribed there, and we'll just do it there. So, I'm going to try it again next week. I don't know what the hell happened this week. We did nothing different. So fuck YouTube. And we'll leave it at that. So with that being said, guys, we'll see you next week. God bless you. Take care. And check out my TikToks at Big Ray Hernandez. I appreciate you. Thank you. Subscribe, like, share, love, sex, hate, violence, everything.
Yeet. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Yes, boy.
This is the Hustler Rip Rogers. Yeah, it's fucking me. Yeah, and listen to the fucking Hameen Media Group. That's Ben Hameen Media Group from Rip Rogers. Go get him and go fuck yourself.